have 7 o'clock. No, we can't do it. Blue Ridge City Council will meet in special session at 7 p.m.
Can you turn it up?
I think it was fine.
Go ahead.
The kind of volume like this.
Steve,
Yeah.
Because it's on.
how about you try to move it like to the middle?
I see. I mean, it's showing on this thing. I think it's on mute.
Can you all hear her okay? She speaks rather softly, so.
Yeah.
First, I know this one.
She could have mine if need to, because. No. I have no phone. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. The Blue Ridge City Council will meet in special session at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025, at the Blue Ridge Community Center, located at 200 West Tilton, Blue Ridge, Texas, with the following items on the agenda for consideration and/or action. Number 1, call to order roll call. Dave Sturgeon.
Present.
Tammy Crosswhite.
Here.
David Apple.
Here.
Keith Chitwood.
Here.
Colby Collinsworth.
Present.
Rhonda Williams present. Thank you. Item number 2. First public hearing to receive public comments and discuss a request for a final plat known as 78 Business Park, an addition located at 14693 North State Highway 78, located 0.25 miles south of the North State Highway 78 and Highway 160 intersection. The property being located on the west side of the State Highway 78 North, also known as Abstract A0368 HP Horton Survey, Sheet 2, Tract 112, containing 2.6040 acres and also located within the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city of Blue Ridge. At this time now at 7:02, we'll open for the public hearing. And I'll ask those that are for the request to come forward and speak. Say your name and
Sandra Day, and we have a couple properties in Blue Ridge, but my main residence is in Farmersville. 8185 North Highway 78, and then obviously the business park that's brought up for discussion. I'm actually here to see if there's any comments or concerns on y'all's half. We presented building plans. We looked to bring build 3 commercial buildings on that site. And we've been working with both metal fabricators and landscape designers, et cetera, to make it as pretty as possible. The house on that property is currently less than desirable, for lack of a better word. So we're hoping to make the improvements. That's all I have, unless you all have any questions for me. I don't know how these things work. I'm sorry.
You're fine, Miss Sandra.
Okay.
thank you. Okay, we'll ask those that are against the request to come forward and speak. No. This is for the addition up on Highway 78 and 160. This is for the public comments for that. So those that are against that particular one, if there's anyone. None. Okay. So we'll close this public hearing on item number 1 or item 2 at 7:04. And we'll move on to item number 3, which is the first public hearing to receive comments and discuss a request for establishing a zoning classification of R2 multifamily district for an approximate 0.92198 acre tract of land situated within the incorporated limits of the city of Blue Ridge and also in Collin County, Texas, and described as follows. Tract 1, 0.319099 acres known as Morris Addition, Lot 1, and also known by Colin Cad property ID 2786176. Tract 2, 0.41400 acres known as Morris Addition, Lot 2, and also known by Colin Cad property ID 2786177. And tract 3, 0.19699 acres known as Morris Addition, Lot 3, replat, and also known as Colin Cad property 2859631. These lots are adjoin South Morrow and South Main Streets and are south of Benjamin Lane. So we will open that public hearing at 7:05 p.m. And then we will ask those that are for the request to come forward, state your name and address.
Hello everyone, my name is Adema Stradigan and my address is 73585 1377 here. So we are wanting to rezone.
Can you get closer to the mic? Or pull it? Hello?
Okay, so we are wanting to rezone these lots. Now, single family, and we want to do multifamily. Our main reason is because we want to give others the opportunity to live here and have their families here, raise their families here in Blue Ridge. I grew up here and I love this town, so I want to have others come in. Having them as multifamily would let us give affordable prices to those that want to stay here and have that country life. A lot of people tend to move out of Blue Ridge because they can't find anything that is affordable in the price range. So this would help us give the opportunity for us to stay here. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And anyone else? Now we'll ask for those that are against. Are you for or against, Camille?
No, then I'm definitely against.
Okay, just making sure. I had
State your address.
yeah.
320 South Morrow Street.
Okay.
I've been a resident of Blue Ridge for 81 and a half years. I lived on Morrow Street for almost 50. It is not what we want. That's a residential street. A lot of older people live on that street. We do not want multi-families moving in on our street. The road does not even halfway accommodate the people that live there. You can't stop somebody from building something on their property. But I'd like to ask, how many people on this council own their own home? So these do, these don't. But for the ones of you that do, you've lived there, you've invested in it, do you want to see duplexes come up in your front yard? I don't. And I would like to see it be a single family home, something that was nice. And people that rent, they come and go. And it's just, you have, well, the city benefits and they benefit. If you have a duplex, you can rent two sides. So you get 2 water meters per duplex. They get double the rent. We just want to live in peace down there with a single family home.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Are you on the against or the for?
Okay, I'll just hold it. It's easier. My name's Jaquita Morris. I live at 320 South Main Street. I am against the rezoning to multifamily for lots of reasons. One is, like Camille said, it's a lot of elderly people live in that area. We do not want that much more traffic. they're talking, if, at the very least, build a duplex, it's one on each lot. Even if they do that, that's 8 families right there. And that street, Marl Street, it's more, it's a stretch to call it a street. It's more like a goat path. It's really, really in bad shape. And our property goes back to Morrow, but we don't use it that much because the street's so bad. So we go in and out of, in front, Main Street to get out to 545 to go to Melissa. But we just don't want, I think it would cause that neighborhood to deteriorate, to have that many people in that one little area. The infrastructure, like I say, the street, and they've had problems even finding the sewer system to hook into. And I just don't think it's a smart idea to turn a residential neighborhood for single family residences into a multifamily. I just think it's really gonna hurt Blue Ridge in the long run because it's just gonna value our properties in that area. And first of all, I would like to ask one of you, it says R2. What are the restrictions on R2 multifamily? Does it have to be a single story or can it be 2-story, like some of these they build in town? Can anybody tell me that?
Well, the limit is 2-story. It cannot go higher than 2.
I'm sorry, what, I'm hard hearing.
The limit is no higher than 2.
Okay, but it can be a 2-story.
It can be if that's what's provided.
Okay, well, I definitely am against it and I am requesting, because we're the ones that sold that property, which we had no choice at the time, but I would request that you not rezone that property. Not with the streets and the infrastructure, with the sewer and the water and everything through that area in shape it's in especially. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I don't put this back on here.
It just pops
slide
back
in
on.
there.
Pop it along.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Will you bring it back in?
Yeah.
So, there's no one else here? Oh, yes, ma'am. State your name and your address, please.
My name is Randy Beery. I'm here on behalf of the Betty Sue Foster Fitz LLC. We own several buildings here in town. I think the one in reference here is 106 on North 78.
No, we're not there.
No?
We've already finished that one. 106 North 70. Oh, we're down here on Morris Street. On
I got a
Morris.
letter for this, and it didn't tell me what address it was affecting.
Are you talking the one on
Business.
78 and 160 up here?
I'm
No.
not sure. It didn't tell me
They
which
own a
address.
property that's within 200 feet of that on South Morrow.
Okay.
So your property abuts back into
Yeah.
the back part of it.
I think
Okay.
so.
Yes.
We have 17 here, and I've only seen like 10 of them because my grandfather owns them.
Not a problem. Go ahead.
We don't have any opposition to the duplexes being built. As far as spaces on that street, our tenants didn't say that they had any opposition to people being built. If you have more than one car in your family, you're going to take up space on the street anyway. And at least this way we can get more people here who are working, bringing new life and businesses and stuff into town. We have several duplexes in town anyway, and our property values are pretty secure.
Thank you. So we have no others. So we'll close that public hearing at 7:14. No discussion by the council at this time. You're one of the next. Now, when we be ready. Oh, I guess it is.
We have to have a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn this meeting session.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn. I'll second.
All in favor? Okay. Thank you, 7:14. Start the regular session. The Blue Ridge City Council will meet. The Blue Ridge City Council will meet in regular session at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025, at the Blue Ridge Community Center located 200 West Tilton, Blue Ridge, Texas, with the following items on the agenda for consideration and/or action. A notice is hereby given that there is a forum here for the 4A, but there'll be no discussion regarding the 4A business. Item number 1, call to order and roll call. Dave Sturgeon.
Present.
Kenny Crosswhite. Here. David Apple.
Here.
Keith Chitwood. Colby Collinsworth.
Present.
John Williams, present. Thank you. Item number 2 is prayer and pledges of allegiance for all.
Let us recite the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. You'll face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you.
Do you have anyone sign up for public comments on the item?
One moment, Mayor.
Thank you.
No worries. No, ma'am. Everybody that signed up is for what's on the agenda.
Can you sign up for something else?
You sure can.
I just, two things that I want to talk about that wasn't about. the
You'll need to
state.
step to the mic, and this is your
Don't mind.
public opportunity. State your name and address again, please.
Camille Shin, 320 South Mall Street, Blue Ridge, Texas. I think we've already discussed the road situation, but in the last 2 months, I've had almost got run over sitting on my front porch on that road for speeding around the corner. I called Collin County. He said, well, I didn't see it, so there's nothing I can do about it. He did a donut on that corner in front of Angie Hall's house and ended up almost on my front porch where I was sitting. Today, I go to the dollar store and I come home and the Cisco truck that delivers to the cafe had come around my street and took the side of my fence out. I don't know what an 18-wheeler would be doing on that street. At the dollar store, I see the homeless man they're talking about that's sleeping on the street. I understand he sleeps there and in the post office. I just have a lot of thoughts about what is going on in our town. Is it going to get out of control like other big towns? It's already growing so fast. On 545, you don't dare go anywhere that way at 4:30 or 5. What is the city's plans for the infrastructure of people getting to and from and out of this town safe? That's just some of the questions that I've been asked. I said, I have no idea. I stay in my house. That's just a few things I wanted to talk about. the danger. They say, if you see something, say something. Well, it's like he told me tonight, had you not got a picture of the back of the truck, there would be nothing I could do. I had pictures of the boy's truck that almost ran through my house, but that was Collin County. He said, well, if I didn't see it, I can't do nothing about it. That's not right. And another 4 feet, he would have hit me with that truck sitting on my home porch. So are we, if, with all this growth, is there any potential that we will have any kind of law enforcement? Has that been talked about? That's just a few questions that I'd like answers to. I've heard all kinds of rumors that we were getting a new fire department. I said, I haven't heard nothing about that the volunteer fire department wasn't good enough. I said, Rockwall still has a volunteer fire department. I heard it was getting McDonald's built on the corner by the donut shop. I don't know where people get all this information. Just thought I'd share with you the gossip that goes around. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peter.
All that information to have.
Who's not thinking that?
So we're gonna go on to item 4. Right?
Unless anybody else has something else to say.
No.
Then yes, ma'am.
Item number 4, items of community interest.
I don't have any at this time, unless anybody else has something to share.
Okay.
Except weather, of course, pets, people. Take care, make sure y'all are safe. Plants, do their own thing. The 4 Ps,
Check on your neighbors.
absolutely.
David, would you check on me and just put it on, Randy? You gonna, that's right.
David, you're in charge. You got that straight, David.
Man,
Will the
oh,
weather
I've seen some stupid shit around that corner by your house.
Edie, will the weather interfere with trash delivery on Friday?
We are unaware at this moment.
Okay.
We have not been informed if they're going to run or not, so if we knew and did find out anything, of course, we'll put everything out to the resources we have available.
Okay, item number 5. The consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda for discussion of possible actions are considered to be routine by the city council and require little or no deliberation. There will not be a separate discussion of these items, and the consent agenda items will be enacted by one vote. If a council member expresses a desire to discuss a matter listed on the consent agenda, the item will be considered separately. A, discuss, approve, or disapprove the minutes from special session number 2, held November 12, 2024. B, public works update. C, city financial report. D, fire department report. E, animal control report. F, code enforcement report. G, new permit report. And H, write-off for utility billing. I know that we do not have a fire department report and code enforcement report. And the 2 that we're missing on this, so. Motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept number 5.
We got those 2 reports. We got those 2 reports.
Yeah.
And I accept. I mean, that's second. I accept it. Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Okay. Item number 6. Second public hearing to receive public comments, consider, discuss, and act upon a request for final plat known as 78 Business Park, an addition located at 14693 North State Highway 78, located 0.25 miles south of the North State Highway 78 and Highway 160 intersection. The property being located on the west side of State Highway 78 North, also known as abstract A0368, HP Horton Survey, Sheet 2, Track 112, containing 2.6040 acres and also located within the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city of Blue Ridge. So we'll open that at 7:25. And we'll have, once again, those that are for the request to come forward and speak. And this is talking about the location of the 78. Nothing else to say. Okay, perfect. And then we'll have those that are against. Like we have on here. Yes, we'll close the public hearing at 7:26 p.m. It's time for the council will take action regarding this. Or discussion, further discussion.
They need to do some correction in that plat.
Are you talking about the one up here? on
Yeah,
78?
Chuck's place. Yeah, they got the wrong location map on there. They got something out here on 545 and they got the wrong, abstract down in the block, title block of that.
I noticed that.
And, it's probably, look next up, I need to correct.
Maybe I was reading it wrong, but showing purple. You know, nowhere near what it seems.
Do you show that as well, Edie?
I can't see this.
Yeah.
So you've got the original plat right there beside you.
I look at the location map up in the,
I mean, it's that cool. Yeah, it's location map. It's not like, it looks. Everything
Yeah, the
else looks
location map
correct.
says South Highway 121 and South Highway 78.
Yeah, it's got the wrong location number right there.
Yeah.
I'll get that.
That's why I was kind of.
And we'll have to have that corrected before.
they've
the
updated that, yeah.
Do what?
They've obviously updated. They've already got,
It's over here.
they've already got everybody.
But Edie
They
said
have corrected it.
At the top,
They corrected a lot.
left-hand corner.
yeah, that. and
Well,
is
this ain't
over
the,
here.
which we prefer it.
No.
It's just been up there, but that was two things that.
Okay.
It looked like the number. That one's correct? Yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
That was the November 21 first bill that I saw earlier. We had comments on that that got addressed. So we needed, I don't think it was that they had developed the license. We haven't seen it in school, but
Okay,
it also needed the Collin County code on there, added on there.
for the sewer, for the OSSF?
Not for the OSSF, just the one that the Collin County needs to sign off on. This
Yes, so the signature block.
the signature block, yes.
Okay. You have something else you need to share with?
Yes,
Can you make a quick note?
Marshall is with our engineering firm, and they had reviewed this prior to it coming to council. There are a couple of things that have been obviously found that was not corrected. One of them is the location map on the plat that needs to be corrected. The second, there is a signature block that is required by Collin County because y'all are in the ETJ. That's not on here either, so, and I know I sent that to your engineer dude, but we'll get it corrected. So
Will that have to come back and once the plat, say everything else is fine?
everything
We'll
else
have
is
to come
correct.
back.
Marshall, did you have any other issues or knowledge of any other items?
Just those two.
Because that was all that I was aware of as well. So as long as we have that and the council can make the motion to approve pending those changes be completed, then we can start to proceed.
Any other questions?
Can we, and do we know what these buildings are gonna be? Do we know what's gonna be in these buildings or you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I would anticipate some kind of manufacturing possibly. I mean, it's
Or
hard
looks
to.
like, is it like warehouse with roll up door? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just,
roll-up
from
doors.
looking at this, I'm just trying to figure
Yeah,
out what it is.
yeah, it'll be a roll-up door and then like a front entrance. So ideally, I would say private business, if I were looking at
Are
it.
they separate buildings or is it all
Three
separate? Three separate buildings?
Yes,
There is going to be one septic on the property that will handle all of the three buildings. And that's why we're planning it as such. So what you're saying, so we're not individualizing each particular building, and that's why.
Is it facing, which way is it facing? Forgive my north, south,
South, east, west, because I'm like,
It's facing, is it facing north or south?
it's gonna face 70, the first one will face 78. I believe he's got plans to have a entrance facing the parking lot as well, so if you.
Oh, okay.
Customer come in. 'Cause
So they're gonna face different
Yeah.
ways?
Yeah.
Comments? Council questions? So we'll close. Very excited.
Yeah, I think it's close.
Okay, so we close it at 7:30. This time, over, from council.
I'll make a motion we approve, number 6.
Contingent on
On,
completion.
yes, on continuing on the,
Arm changes
changes for number 6. We make it,
as stated.
Okay, so I have a motion by Dave. Do I have a second?
A second.
Sandy second. All in favor? Okay. All approved. Number 7 now. Second public hearing to receive public comments, consider, discuss, and act upon a request for establishing a zoning classification of R2 multifamily districts for approximately 0.92198 acre tract land situated within the incorporated limits of the city of Blue Ridge and also in Collin County, Texas, and described as follows. Tract 1 is 0.31099 acres known as Morris Addition, Lot 1, and also known by Collin County Property 2786176. Tract 2 is 0.41400 acres known as Morris Addition. Lot 2, also known by Collin County Property ID 2786177. And Tract 3, 0.19699 acres known as Morris Addition, Lot 3, replat, and also known as Collin County Property 2859631. These lots are joined South Morrow and South Main Streets and are south of Benjamin Lane. So it's going to be at 7:32. We'll open the public hearing once again. We have those that are for the request to come forward. For the request.
Just like any last spots.
Your name again.
Yes.
Annette Von Dragon, and address is 7358 after 1377. What was mentioned earlier was like traffic going on and like just cars not being, or that street not being able to pull that much traffic. I personally don't think there's a lot of traffic that goes on through that street. I'm always in Bridge and I don't see a lot. And then the duplexes will have their own driveways, so that it's gonna reduce most of the like problems as people there, like maybe parking will be in the street. And we won't allow renters, we do have like limits on like vehicle restrictions on how much they are allowed to have, so that is one thing. Thank you.
I have those that are against the request once again to come forward and speak, or unless, go ahead.
Camille Shin, 320 South Morrow Street. And I disagree with this young lady. I've lived on this street for 50 years. I am retired now, and there is a lot of traffic on that street and a lot of kids that drive up and down that street. And I just have reservations about all the traffic in the narrow street. And I would hope there would be restrictions on to one-story houses like are built. Most of the houses in that area are one-story. That's what we would like. We would like it not to be more people living in the house than there are bedrooms. Because there's some houses on our street, no, are 2 and 3 bedroom houses. And at least 10 or 12 people live in those houses. So I'm gonna go for 1-story, single family home with restrictions to how many people can live there. Thank you.
Anyone else? Wait.
Jaquita Morris, 320 South Main Street. I just want to reiterate everything that Camille just said. The street being as bad as it is, even if it was widened and made a nice street, we still do not want duplexes in our neighborhood. I understand it. Blue Ridge right now, if you look around what is being built inside the city, is duplexes and apartments, and it's the direction the city is going is not a good path to go down. And like Camille said, there's houses on our street where people have bought and fixed and redone them and rented them out, and you got 2 or 3 families living in one house. You got 4 and 5 vehicles parked in the yard and all in front of the houses, and it's just, we bought our house 9 years ago, bought it back, and it was in bad shape. We have worked really hard to fix this house back up and make it a home, and now this is happening, and I don't want to be forced to sell and move out of Blue Ridge, but that's the direction it's going. And I would really appreciate it if they could just build a nice little house on each one of these 4 lots. That it would improve the neighborhood and it make all the neighbors a lot happier, because there's going to be a lot of upset people. Good. And that's just my opinion. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any others? Okay. We'll close that at 7:37 p.m. So council will have discussion. Vote on.
Yeah, do y'all have a plat yet on this, on what you're actually building yet? No, you don't have anything. So not if 2 are gonna face Moore Street, 2 are gonna face Main, I mean. I'm sorry, this is here, yeah, I can't hear.
I just threw that out.
Well, no, I have that, but I mean,
Well, that's the plan, like what you said is the plan too, but we don't have anything official as of right now. But 2 will be facing Marlow.
you don't know whether single story or
Single story, but aiming for
it would be single story, but it would be a duplex.
Yes.
You're gonna have parking spots, 2 parking spots for each duplex?
Yeah, so every duplex will have 2 parking spots, yes. Like a driveway and 2 vehicles will be able to be there, yes.
To the right.
Oh, they'll have a garage as well.
Okay, so like the ones on Harmon,
Yes.
kind of like those down there.
Yes.
Will be any other questions before we get going?
Yeah, I think that was basically exactly what I was gonna ask, is if you had any, or how many bedrooms? 3, 2 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 2 bedrooms.
So I guess I am just kind of curious. Why would you want it, if you're just doing 2 bedrooms in a duplex, then why would you just go to the trouble just to build a single family, just a 1-story single family with like 3 bedrooms, 2 baths or something like that? It's to be, you know, it gives it a bigger area.
Just because of the price, we want to make it affordable for people. If we do a single home, the price is going to be higher. So yes, more rent for us, but if we want to make it to where we can have more families, when more people come and enjoy the town, have it affordable.
So what are y'all looking at, like price wise, I know that it all depends on how much it's gonna cost and everything, but I mean, just round it out.
$3 for rent.
$1,450 a month.
1450.
Yeah, against it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Edie, what, tell us about the sewer and the water on that street and any,
So we
plans of improvement?
did have some problems locating the sewer line, but it was since found. We do have capacity for it. We do have capacity for 8 more homes, but we're getting tight with what capacity for all of the homes that's coming into the city of Blue Ridge. So, I want to use this word and cautiously, do not take my words and twist them. If you do, I'm going to have a conversation with you directly. We're looking at a potential moratorium, and I said potential, which means we may have to pause any further development because we don't have enough capacity for the homes that's coming in over here behind the ballpark, the homes that's coming in at Dollar General over there, the 54 homes there, and I can only do half of the development of Blue Ridge North. Once we hit that, we're done. We cannot grow any further until a developer, because we are development driven, expands our sewer plant or there's funding that accommodates that expansion. So right now, we're very cautious to say how many more homes can come in. Right now, we're fine, but we do have to be very careful and aware of that commitment to those homes.
And that's not counting, what you just said is not counting if they were to build.
Because right now, Blue Ridge North hasn't built.
Right.
So right now, we're okay.
Yeah.
But we're still very cautious and I've got the foot on the brake. I just haven't pumped the brake yet.
Right.
So with this, you're wanting to build 4 duplexes, is that correct?
Yeah. I think everybody wants.
Wouldn't be 4 individual homes, it'd be 4 homes that, and the duplex was maybe a single driveway.
Yeah.
Two
Four.
driveways,
Two
one single
driveways,
structure.
2 parking spots, 2. Well, I've seen a lot of duplex with a single drive and splitting the
None of the
house.
ones here are like that.
No, I've seen some of them. And it's mainly just.
Because the ones that are over there on Pritchard, are they, they're Ford, right?
Yes.
They're
Mhm.
made, that's where you live.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're Ford.
that's what I meant.
And
I mean,
so,
I have no problem. I mean, Camille, I know you and Jaquita don't.
We don't want it.
I know you don't. I live in a duplex.
You don't
I
own
live
home,
down,
so you don't really need to vote on what I don't want. But you
Well-
don't own a home,
I live in one though.
but you don't own it.
I may not own it, but I moved back here in 1998 and I've lived in a duplex since I've been back here. Do you know why I live in a duplex? I was a single mom with 2 girls, 4 and 2. I couldn't afford to buy a house.
Well,
I barely could afford to feed my kids.
I know.
So I agree with it, and still, it helps me now. I'm still a single mom, basically, and if something breaks, I'm gonna fix it. I got some, I mean, that's my whole reason why that I still
If you
rent.
had owned
Step to the
home,
mic, step to the mic. Y'all gonna have
I mean,
conversation.
so I don't have a problem with the whole duplex.
You have
And
to start all
and-
over.
No, just,
and
all
the
right.
ones on Herman Circle, they're not, I mean, that's where I live now.
I know where you live.
Yeah.
You live in a duplex.
Mhm.
But if you had owned your home for 50 years and lived on a residential street for 50 years and somebody walked up to you and wanted to tell you, this is what you're going to do because this is what I think is best. I don't need somebody that don't own a home to tell me what's best for me. I don't want it.
I don't think we're not telling you what's best for, I
But
mean,
you're
we're not
telling me
saying that.
what's best for the city. And I don't think that's right.
I mean, there's only so much that we can sit there and if an individual buys. a
If they
property-
can buy it, but it can be restricted to a single family home. You don't have to put 8 duplexes
Correct.
down there on my
And then
street.
while we're here, that's why we're asking the question.
So I'm just really enraged about the way the town is growing and everything out my back door. I see these nice paved streets out my back door and a cow pasture. I have a goat path to go on. And I get really upset about that. 30-something years ago, they paved Morrow Street. Since then, they've done nothing to my street but throw out a little gravel now and then. The only thing in 50 years, other than paving that road, that I have got as a reward from this city is trash service. I pay my taxes every year, and I've been doing it for 50 years. So I think people that have been living here a long time should have a little say in what they want beside. And it's not a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house with 15 people living in it.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, Mr.
Mhm.
Sir. Yeah, state your name and,
My name is Hugo Mondragon. I'm living at 7358, 47 and Blue Ridge. And I'm the one want to do this and own this property. And I'm understanding what people living in this town love for so many years. For one of the reasons, the streets, and they know because they work in the city, and this is the way it's going to go in every city. The reason the streets is like that, no concrete, because we don't have, the city don't have enough money to do it. So the city got to grow to give money to give better service. So like she said, I'm understanding. I mean, this is road don't have any service for a long time, but how it's going to have service is don't have the money to do it. So, I mean, it's not because I want to do it in business and make the money. It's just the city's got to grow for the benefits for the citizens. I'm living in this town for 20 years, and I see how it's growing. I don't like it, but that's what it needs to go for benefits for the citizen, for the city grow and have better streets. I mean, better services and everything. So, I mean, I mean, I don't know. I understand people don't like it, how it's growing, but it's got to be. That's the way it's got to be for the city to give income. Thanks.
thank you. Any other comments?
Edie, what about the street over there? Do we have any plans? Don't we have plans to do something with that street?
At this point in time, no, sir, because I'm trying to get all the streets that have never been attached or upgraded. So we're working on rock streets. I know that one has been paved and it's not great. It is not. But I'm trying to get like Pritchard that's dust and working on trying to get upgrades to those folks that have never had any improvements before we go to those next to get other upgrades done. Now, these folks are not incorrect. That street is rough. It's bad. So are a lot of other streets. It's how we can fund it. I've been trying to find grants to help to do that, but it's not just the street. It's not just the top surface. We've got to take care of the infrastructure underneath. We've got to get the water and the sewer and get all of those improved also because they're right in the street. So in order to do the street, I've got to get all of that done too. So that's a lot of money. And that's what we went out for Texas Water Development Board, if y'all recall. But we cannot afford the loans that it's going to take in order for us to do a $15 million project to redo this town. We can't debt it. There's just no way. And these folks that live here, they don't want to pay over $1 per 100 valuation to afford what needs to be done. And I don't blame them because even though folks, the ones that live in rental properties, they still are paying the property value because they have to pay for their rent that pays the taxes. So it's still a full circle. And it makes a difference to how much we can actually invest into our city. Does that help answer your question?
Any other questions or comments? David, you're looking for, oh no, they're looking something.
I'm zooming in on this again.
So if there's,
Can we get a flat before we agree to do this? Is that something we can, just so we know, see it laid out and what it would look like before we agree to change the zone?
So let me help with the
Mr. Monday.
the discussion. This is a plat
Oh,
that you already have. What you're asking for is a building plan.
right.
Just making sure what you're
Yes,
saying.
yes, no.
Because the
Kind of
building plan,
where,
that would be something that if you desire, Mr. Mondragon might be able to
I mean-
provide. I don't know.
I'm just, I mean, I'm just asking.
Do you have something of that nature already?
No, not yet.
drawn up?
Okay.
Are we doing a rezoning and a plating at the same time, or just?
No,
Just
this
a
was just
rezone.
asked to rezone first, so then they can go to the next steps, which is platting. But it's not gonna help them if they're not going to be allowed the zoning, then there's no need to plat.
Right.
Or they're gonna have to reestablish what business that they're going to do and how they're gonna do it. So this is step one of many steps.
I guess my main concern is the infrastructure, basically the water and sewer. But you answered that earlier. That's my only concern, because I know it's, the area needs some tender loving care.
And
We
the
can only do
challenges.
we can only do what we can as a city, because we ain't big and we don't have people just giving us money. I mean, we don't. But if we can get people in, to pay those taxes, yeah, we can start working on the streets. And trust me, my street needs it. But it's hard. Just me.
Okay, so our option today is to reclassification. To the zoning classification. So, it's up to you all council to make your.
Well, again, I think I would like.
I mean, if you got all your questions answered, thoughts, or. I mean, I understand, again, the concerns and stuff that everybody has, so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're also sitting here on vacant lots that there's nothing on, and, at some point in time, someone's gonna end up, buying them, could be, we're all gone, who knows, and end up building something, but,
That wouldn't be up to us.
yeah,
That's
so.
Now, an option may be, Tammy, on your lead, if you would request to have a rendering, an artist rendering done of what is expected to be done on that property, and then have this brought back to table it and waiting for that, and then bring it back. The 2 public hearings will have stood. You can certainly open it up again if you wish, but that is an opportunity for more discussion.
I mean, that would at least give us something else.
Give us
If
a
it
view
had-
of what we're looking at.
Yeah, at least know what we're looking at, and then, for example, Michelle can also see what she's looking at. I mean, I do understand what she's saying, I do, and her concern, but at least we visualize everything, or like, especially for a lot of people. Me, I like to see it. I'm kind of, I would like that. I know that.
When's the last time, when's the last set of duplexes that have been built here? Was it Bowling's over
Bowling's.
there?
Oh, yeah.
Which are, those were 2 stories.
Yes.
And prior to that, was it,
Probably the ones over on Pritchard, wasn't it?
no, well, yeah.
No, that was done back in the 80s. The ones on
No, there
Harmon was
2 more
done,
built after 2014.
yeah. Because the ones on Harmon, they were built in 2007, 8,
Yeah.
10, and that
Because they were
neighborhood.
there before the ones over on Pritchard.
Right.
Yeah.
But the other ones on Pritchard, the old ones, they were done back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Was
No,
that very-
my aunt and uncle built those ones over on Pritchard.
I lived in the last one for a long time.
I'm kind of like, it would be nice to have some sort of drawing to kind of see what types of houses we're looking at, or what type of
that-
duplex you want.
So we want to make a motion on that?
Well, if we're to kind of, if you can get Maybe it's like an artist rendering or something, just so we can kind of see what would be built there. I don't know. Can help anybody else.
So let me ask a question. If you wish to have a drawing, do you require an engineered drawing or can they just get a something just so that because it's also about cost savings to them too.
Yes.
So what are you looking for? Or if they have something in mind, take a picture of it and say, this is what we're thinking of. What are you looking at?
Don't they still have to abide by the guidelines that we set?
Oh,
as far
absolutely.
as-
The building setbacks, all of that, yes. None of that's negated.
I just.
Can I speak up? Sorry. Would they not?
Step up to the mic.
Sandy Day, I'm sorry. 8185 North Highway 78. We have 17 rental properties in Farmersville. So I understand both sides of this. We do not have any duplexes, so I can't speak to the duplexes. But if I'm not mistaken, when you go for a building permit, you have a set of drawings that you have to present and the city council has to sign off on it. And I would think that the main page would be what the building is going to look like. So
It is. Of course, they're asking for that.
Right,
ahead of
right.
time.
So in some instance, they're gonna have to provide that anyway. So I don't think that the cost would be as huge. And nothing else, you probably get a kid who does architecture, if you're not requiring engineering plans and say, I want you to make this. We've gone to the school, believe it or not, and we've had an architecture student and said, hey, would you be interested in doing something like that? Paid the kid $100 and with the guidance of a teacher.
Yeah, right.
And so I don't know, I think it's maybe coming off more difficult than it actually has. Off of
Yes.
buildings.com or buildingplans.com, you can buy a set of plans on there for pretty simple too. We've done that for boxes too, so. I understand both sides.
Thank you.
And I think at the end of the day, the rezoning would just require 8 water meters and 8 sewer taps. And that's another issue.
Maybe
Keep them back
4
in
on
mind.
Mile and 4 on Main.
That's just.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
So not all the traffic is gonna be on Mara. It'll be on
But tomorrow.
Any other discussion? Or motions to be made?
I mean, I would like to see.
Make a motion.
Yeah, okay. Then I'll make a motion to see an artist rendering of what the duplexes would look like before agreed to rezone.
And so you are asking an artist rendering and then tabling, is that what you're asking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I said that's what I'd like to see that.
So you're wanting to see like a plan, like a
Yes,
design
ma'am.
plan,
Yes, ma'am. Just kind of like what it
like an official one where the engineer stamps it, or like where I can hand draw one?
could hand draw.
I can hand draw.
I just want to see if you have an idea of what the exterior is going to look like. 'Cause, I mean, I know that these are a lot of questions, but right now it's an empty lot. We don't know what y'all are going to do, and that's understandable. And I do think that, a lot of people would like to see what's going to go across the street, if anything. Yeah, just to see what it's going to look like.
I have another question. You guys gonna do the maintenance on the property or, the mowing and all that? Or you gonna have the tenants do that?
We do it.
You're gonna be doing that? Pretty much the same thing that you're
It's
doing here.
difficult to ask for what it was going to look like.
Okay, so we have a motion for Colby,
Yes, ma'am.
from Colby. He'd like to see a rendition of a drawing before any table before anything's done on it. Correct? Did I
Yes,
get that
ma'am.
right?
That's correct.
Written that way.
But not official, just want to make sure not
Correct.
official.
It's just a visual, so we
Just
have an
me,
idea.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that way, because when you start looking individually yourselves, you may be able to say, hey, that's too much on that lot. You never know. So
Well, it's only 40 feet either side.
That's-
That's like 2 cars.
okay. So again, I have a motion by Colby. about this, asking for a visual drawing to do this. Do I have a second of that in order to, and then bring this back for another public hearing after that's been brought to count?
I'll second.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was second with the feasibility that we have for supplying the meters and sewer.
Okay, so we have a motion by Colby, a second by Dave, I'm sorry. All in favor? Okay.
Sorry.
Number
Okay.
All right, so we're going to move on now to item number 8. Consider, discuss, and act upon an agreement with FMS Bonds in connection with the structuring and issuance of bonds for the Public Improvement District, PID number 1, for Blue Ridge Crossings, and authorizing the mayor to execute the required documentation.
So we do have FMS Bonds here with us. FMS Bonds has been highly recommended by Hilltop Securities, who is our main financier, and this is in regard to Blue Ridge Crossing. So if you remember, this is PID 1, our planned development that they are going to be doing bonding for, and FMS is going to be doing the underwriting. So this is a letter of intent that they provide the underwriting. Do you have anything that you'd like to tell the council and introduce yourself, please?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Robert Rivera. I am with FMS Bonds. We appreciate the responsibility to be here with you today. We literally have a little over 95% market share in the state of Texas of all the bid work that is done, the bulk of which are very much like communities such as yours that are in the path of growth here in the state. So ultimately, what we will do is help to work with your financial advisor, your city staff, to make sure that the project that the city wants is what goes vertical. So we craft an offering document, go over it extensively, do an incredible amount of research and diligence on the developer, the development, make sure that everything is true in terms of where the money comes from, the project that's going to go vertical. All of the things that you want are what we want and our investors want. So that's essentially what we bring to the table. We are only paid if and when bonds are ever issued. So we do work on a lot of projects that never happen, and we're happy to do so because we want to make sure that the projects are done correctly. The other banker that I work with is a former bond counsel, meaning that he represents or represented a lot of cities here in North Texas as their attorney whenever they would issue bonds. But he and I have been doing this for a long time. And then also, I served on the city council for Arlington for 12 years. So I understand the daily activities that y'all have and the responsibilities to your citizens. So our default mode is really, we want a quality project, and that's what our investors want as well. So that's it.
Thank you.
So council, my recommendation is to approve item number 8.
Motion to approve item number 8.
All in favor? Okay, item number 9. Consider, discuss, and act upon a network service agreement with TLC Netcon Incorporated for information technology services for the city of Blue Ridge.
Our contract with our previous provider has concluded as of the 4th of January. So we do request that TLC Netcon become our provider for internet and not internet, IT. He has been working with us, so we do ask the council approve this contract.
I'll make a motion we approve the contracts with TLC.
A second that.
And this will help bring all of our IT in-house.
Okay. That was.
And that Texas date is out?
Right.
Okay, item number 10. Consider discuss and act upon an agreement with Strata Realty Services to provide audio visual for the city of Blue Ridge. Steve's here.
Yes, behind the scenes. But as you can see, Steve has brought a level up of the city and we're very grateful to have it. I think this is something that our city needs in order to give presentations, to be able to communicate well with our constituents. And I do recommend that we approve this contract.
I'm gonna make a motion, we approve Straka Realty for any future audio and visual for the city of Blue Ridge.
Do I have a second?
Okay.
Keith? All in favor? Item number 11 is to state the city presentation, and for that, the Edie will be from that presentation part.
How's that? Everybody doing that? Everybody good? Fantastic. You'll put that on full screen, please. So. There we go. First of all, thank you, each and every one of you, for being here tonight. Thank you for what we get to provide you, which is a recap of last year, what we have accomplished, and the goals that we have before us. So I'm really excited to give this. This is the first time that we have done a presentation of this manner. Again, we're growing. We're trying to upgrade and to grow with our other competing cities. So trying to get that where we've got a real good base. So next slide, please. Your city governance. So Blue Ridge City Council consists of mayor and council members, 5 to be exact. They serve 2-year terms, and each council member is elected with the mayor by you, the people, the public. So the city council fulfills the legislative functions of the city, crafting ordinances, developing policies. They're also tasked with establishing the overall direction of the city and providing the general direction of the city staff through the development of goals and objectives. The council adopts an annual budget which reflects the council's spending priorities and sets the annual property tax rate. Your council works diligently for all residents and is committed to improving the vitality and long-term sustainability of the city of Blue Ridge. Regular meetings of the Blue Ridge City Council are held at 7 p.m. first Tuesday of every month. Unless that falls on a holiday, city council meeting agendas and minutes can also be found at the city's website, which is blueridgecity.com. Meetings are held here in the community center, and we are always glad to see those that come and attend. Next, please. So the budget and taxes. Our fiscal year is October 1 to September 30 of every year. So with that, $1.8 million was the budget from last year. Guys, I can remember a few years back when we hit 1 million, I did a jig. I thought we were on top of cloud 9. We're still kind of holding. Hadn't gotten too big yet. But the tax rate for 23-24 has been 50 cents. We have, with the council, kept our tax rate in and around the 50-cent mark for the past 4 years consistently. So we are the 3rd smallest city in Collin County, but yet we are a contender with some of the largest cities, and here's why. This city provides water and sewer. Water to all residents, sewer to most. There are some locations that sewer still is septic because of the lay of the land. But because of that, these services do make us a contender as a city in other areas as well. So the budget is in alignment with the council's goals of maintaining safe and clean neighborhoods, facilitating economic development, building a strong workforce, and enhancing the level of care and maintenance for city facilities, grounds, and equipment. Next slide, please. Oh, can you go back up? There was a statement that was made, go back up. There was a statement made by, and we want to give him the accolades. It was by the mayor of Cleveland, who said, "We take the stewardship of taxpayer dollars very seriously, and our staff members work very hard to make sure that our citizens get the most bang for the budget." This statement does hold true for the city of Blue Ridge as well. We love what we do. We love our jobs, but we love to serve, and we do our best to serve you. Now, next slide. We have two major developments that we have already spoke of. One is Heritage Grove, which is over here by the Dollar General. The second one is Blue Ridge Crossing, which is behind the ball fields. Heritage Grove subdivision started their development process in 2019, and in September of 2023, the city received its first permit, the first permit binder with at least one house per month following thereafter, with a brief break during between November 23rd and March 24th. The subdivision will add 52 high-quality homes to the city. 9 homes have been completed as of December 24, and 1 more is in the permitting stage as of now. All homes in Heritage Grove are fitted with an irrigation system, which does add more revenue funds to the city. Blue Ridge Crossing, and as you can see, the picture's kind of small, and I do apologize, but we started out with raw land, and now we're fixing to have streets, and they're going to be concreted. Blue Ridge Crossing subdivision started the development process in 21, and in March of 24, the infrastructure has begun. As part of this development agreement with Fieldside Development, the city received a new bar screen for the wastewater treatment plant and started January of 2025. Pruitt Street will also get a facelift with concrete, bigger and more improved sewer lines, and that is at the cost of the developer. So when I say we are development driven, we truly are. Those costs, they're putting in over $3.5 million into this town. We're not spending a dime. That's all through them. So Pruitt Street, as y'all know, gets a lot of heavy traffic because that's the ball field. And there's a lot of folks that travel down to that ball field. All of that is going to be in concrete. Next slide, please. 2024 achievements. City Council has approved a contract with SC Tracking Solution to handle all the backflow devices located within the city. The city has been approved for Collin County Open Space Grant to develop Maui Park, and that is a parcel that's on the other side of the Paradise Estates Trailer Park. So we want to have a really nice park that way and try to open that opportunity so that we can go back along behind the creek and connect to some of these other housing opportunities to give people that outdoor opportunity and get out. So after what is this? After close work with employees, yes. Good old Dollar General. Sorry, I'm reading it from the side. Y'all remember how Dollar General got closed? That was difficult. I want to segue for just a moment. Do y'all know how hard that was to make the decision to say, council, we've got to do something. This group of folks, city staff, code enforcement, we contacted how many people did we contact? I can't count that high right now. There were so many people.
A lot.
We contacted USDA. We contacted everybody that we could get our hands a hold of to make sure that Dollar General was providing quality. If y'all remember what that store looked like just a few months ago, it was terrible. It was a disgrace. That was disgraceful. How can you sit here and fuss at the city when you've got a store filthy and providing you food that you're supposed to put in your mouth? How dare they? Well, guess what? Shut it down, shut it off, get it fixed, or don't come back. That's their choice. And that's what happened. So thank you to everyone that facilitated that, because you know what? That was shame on them. After they closed and got with the employees, the code enforcement, Dollar General reopened. Now it's clean, or it was at the moment, restocked. We probably have to do another little contact with them and have another little visit with them. The bar screen that I spoke of. This is what it used to look like. This is what it's going to look like now. So the bar screen, and just give you a quick little rundown. Wastewater is my treasure. I enjoy it. Wastewater is nasty. You know what goes in because you put it there. You flush the toilet. Well, everything that people put in the toilet ends up at this bar stream. And it has to be cleaned out. The old one had to be cleaned out 4 to 5 times a day by hand. So these gentlemen that had worked for wastewater had to literally go in and remove stuff. So the new bar screen is automated. That also was paid for by the developer. $250,000 is a piece of that equipment right there. So they will no longer have to handle all the poo and debris themselves. They're going to get to use an automated system. That way it'll keep our system clean. Next, please. 2025 goals. The comprehensive plan for commercial zoning and future growth locations. This is critical for planning. There has not been a comprehensive plan done in the city of Blue Ridge since I know of. But it's time to get one done. So that's going to be their goal this year. Assisting the volunteer fire department with funds and grants to help serve the community. Y'all may have heard, and if you have not, anything that is outside of the city, a lot of other cities are pulling out. They're not serving out in county anymore. Doesn't matter if you're in their ET check, doesn't matter. Because those folks do not pay taxes inside the city, and that's where those funds go to help that fire department. And since county isn't paying for it, fire department's saying, you know what, I'm pulling out. So we're in a fight with the state legislature. I'll be meeting with some of their legislators here in the next 2 weeks. We've got city staff that's researching night and day, hunting for opportunities, how we can better serve not just our city, but our whole community. We're in the whole northeast corner of Collin County that we serve for the fire department. This is a huge district, one of the biggest districts in Collin County. So we want to do what we can to assist them and make this better for everyone. Upgrades to the water storage tanks. That too is something that's on the radar. Existing streets through a CDBG grant, we've already applied. So I'm waiting to hear whether we get funded or not. Reapplying to the Texas Water Development Board for water and sewer improvements. And qualifying for the Texas Parks and Wildlife grant to help offset the payment for Mallory Park. Next slide. Here we have a picture of your councilman. Mary Rhonda Williams has served with us since 2013, and her statement is, having strong roots in Blue Ridge, I feel it's an honor to be a part of the city, council, and government. I care about the community and the growth that is inevitable and try to help maintain our small town feel and make it a great place to live and raise our families. Mayor Pro Tem Keith Chitwood, he served with us since 2018, and his statement is, I love living in Blue Ridge, and I know we have a huge amount of growth coming our way. I ran for city council to be part of the expansion and to assure that we maintain as much of the small town feel as possible. Councilmember Colby Collinsworth states, and he's been here since 2020, states, I was born and raised in the city. I love it and with all my heart. I'd like to be a part of helping it grow for the better and future generations to enjoy the same small town feel. Councilman Tammy Crosswhite, she has served also since 2021. Blue Ridge has been home to my family for multiple generations. I love my town, and I serve as a way of getting back to the community which helped raise me. We also have with us, and next slide please, I didn't get the pictures on here, but we've got Dave Sturgeon, who served since 2023, and David Apple, who started serving, this is his second time, is that correct, or third? Second time? 2024, this is the second time second time around. But these are the folks that are your deciding factors. Next. And your city staff. I've been here since 2017. This is my second stint here. This will be my 30th year in April that I've been doing this job. 30 years. You've got Joni's city secretary assistant. Yes, sir?
What year did you start first?
1990 something. 95, best I can remember, but it's been a minute. Yeah. Joni, the assistant city secretary, she's been here since 2019. Phenomenal young lady. Amazing young lady. Utility clerk Crystal Childers has been with us since 2021. That girl can do some billing. Yeah, she can flat do some billing. This is our EDC board. It is also our city council members. President is Keith Chitwood, Treasurer Ron Williams, Tammy Grosswhite, Secretary, Board Member Kobe Collinsworth, Ned. And the other folks didn't give me the pictures, but we've got Justin Garner, David Sturgeon, David Apple, and I am the ex officio. So I want to tell you, just stopping here for a moment, this is a team effort, y'all. This is not just Joni and I and this council. It's y'all. We need you to be here to help, to participate. We need as many people on hands-on deck as possible. This city cannot operate without everybody participating. We may not always agree, that's fine. We can go home and still love each other, take care of each other. That's what we're going to do. But I guarantee you, it takes us all, everyone. Next slide, please. Your EDC board, they have purchased 3 lots on North Business 78. It's right there at the intersection of 981 and 78, Business 78. And there is plans of having a strip center at that location because there's a lot of happening going there right there by the school. So that's in future development. So they're working with opportunities with developers Buckley and Brown to help design the commercial spaces for this location. We also have new businesses in 2024, which was Creating Roots, County Line Creations, Blue Ridge Auto Group, and the grand reopening of Dollar General. I can't hear you. What? I haven't had the opportunity to go to Blue Ridge Auto Group, but I'm sure I'll be visiting because I like to visit everybody. Then you have your Blue Ridge Community Development Board. We have President Kim Garcia, Treasurer Tanya Harrison, Secretary Vicki Atterbury. Board member is Dina Brown. Next, we also have Michael Douglas, Pam Dilday, and we've got 2 more seats that's open. So anybody here that wants to participate, come on. We've got some applications back here. If y'all want to participate in any volunteer opportunity, we've got a place. We've got a place for you. And these folks are very active. That's the next slide. These folks are the ones that put on a lot into our community. They're very instrumental in the renovation of our downtown square. They put in $75,000 to help get that square done. That was all done by a grant with their help. So that was $500,000, but it's phenomenal. And it really uplifted the whole face of the city. The 4B board also funded the grant match, the revitalization project I just spoke of. They funded the new Welcome to Blue Ridge signs made locally by American-made vinyl and metal owner Brandon DeLeon. These signs are located at County Road 825 and 78, State Highway 121, Highway 78, and at County Road 580 and 78. The 4B board, they're beautiful. And he designed those. See those beautiful signs right there? Yeah, my deal went out. There it is. Those signs, they're lovely. They also funded the signs for Groucher Park. And the ones that were there before were beautiful. They were very nice because they were made out of wood and they could renovate. And over time, wood just will not hold up. So they held up for a pretty good while. But these are now metal and they will endure. So we're very happy about that. Great announcement, super excited about. The 4B board purchased our old City Hall building. They're going to be turning that into, they call it the Blue Ridge Resource Center. So it's going to have food pantry. It's going to have an area where a computer set up where people want to find a job. So you can have internet access. This is a vital source for our community. Really excited about that. Next slide. These are some of the community opportunities that they put on. The Harvest Festival, the Back to School Fair, the Easter egg hunt. These are all great events, and we are so very appreciative of the Community Development Board and what they're doing with the tax dollars. And these are your sales tax dollars. This is where that money comes from. So when you go to Dollar General at Branston's and all of the cafes around, this is where that sales tax money goes, and that's how it benefits our community. And let me tell you, everybody loves these events. They're just thrilled to have them. Next, please. So we have a lot going on through permits. We had a total of 80 permits in 2024, which totaled $26,000 in fees. It also produced $44,000 in impact fees. Residential fees were $16,500 and commercial fees were $9,800. So of the permits, we had 50 residential permits, which that goes into a lot of different paths. You have 6 new single-family homes, 5 fences, 8 accessory buildings, 10 solar installs, 10 irrigation installs, 3 alteration package, 2 mechanicals, 2 gas, and 3 electrical. We had several commercial permits, 30 to be exact, 9 food permits, 5 certificate of occupancies, 3 commercial alterations, 9 commercial electric. 1 was a miscellaneous build, 1 was a mechanical, and a mobile food vendor. So there's still a lot happening in this little town. Next, please. Code enforcement. Code enforcement has been very, very active this past year. Very active. We had a total of 797 violations issued, 489 inspections we've done. The Blue Ridge Court was reinstated in December, and that was after a 4-year hiatus. So we're super happy to have our court back in action again. There's a total of 8 cases that were brought before the municipal court, and that was in December. So you can see from the list, grass and weeds tops the list of violators. So we try to get everybody, because it's your property. We want to take care of it. We don't want you to have bugs and weeds and grass and nonsense. So we want you to make sure that we're making it safe for everybody, because it's fire hazard. We have to make sure we're safe. So along the other nuisances, trash and debris is another. Unsanitary conditions, substandard structures, we had 58. Junk vehicle, now that's not 58 locations. That's 58 times that somebody has had a violation submitted to them to say, guys, come on, you need to straighten up. Y'all need to get your stuff cleaned up and act up. So there's a lot of folks that are second, third, and fourth offenders that we constantly have to stay on so that we can keep our town clean, because that's the goal, keep it clean. Thank you, I get thirsty. Next slide, please. So your Public Works Department, my guys don't want to be seen, they want to do. Public Works Director Brad Messerol, he's been doing this job since 2014. Nick Teague has been here since 2016. And we just got Patrick Brown on board with us, 2024. That's all we have. You have 3 inside and 3 outside. And then you have the staff of our council, you have our EDC board, you have our 4B board. These are the folks that are making things happen in this town. And that's all we have. Go ahead. Public Works. This is what they got done this past year. We had 218 work orders, 769 line locates, and of all that, the total water consumption, 81 million gallons, almost 82 million gallons of water was consumed by the residents. Total trash, total pickup was 8,459. So that's every time you have a trash tote every week times how many trash totes you got. 8459 was the total. Total sewage processed, 1.2 million gallons was what we processed at our wastewater treatment plant. So of the work orders, we have water leaks, backups, sewer backups, water taps, clean outs. There's a lot. There's a lot. We added up at one time, a couple years ago, Brad probably walks about 60 miles a year just doing line locates, because there's an area that's very vast of what he has to mark. Next slide, please. Volunteer Fire Department. The Volunteer Fire Department said goodbye to longstanding Fire Chief John Bowers after 39 years of dedicated volunteer service in March of 24, and welcomed in the new Fire Chief, Jason Brazel. We also said goodbye to Captain Bonnie Bowers, who dedicated 25 years of her service. The fire department is always in need of qualified volunteers, so if you or somebody you know is interested in this opportunity, please contact the fire department. They had all of their runs given to us so that we could add this into our slide. Total city runs was approximately 137 during the year of 2024. Total county runs was 312 with 9 mutual aids and 4, our fire rating. That is a conjoined effort between the city and the fire department. We're a level rated 4. Now, I don't know if that means much to y'all, but let me tell you what it means to me. That means that your homeowner's insurance does not skyrocket, because that is what the insurance providers based what their insurance is going to be for you. And that is all because of commitments between the city and the fire department that we work together, conjoined. So the Blue Ridge Fire Department has a very large fire district. We spoke about that, and you can see this is their fire district right here. It's basically the whole northeast corner of Collin County. It is massive, and it's one of the most biggest in Collin County. We're also struggling. I speak on their behalf because this fire department, they have very limited resources as well. We have a fireman right here sitting with us. He's giving of his time to help me out. So it's fantastic. We have others that have served on this fire department. So, you know, we understand what the service of the fire department means. So because of that aid that I spoke about pulling out of the county, it's critical. Guys, we're in critical mass right now. It doesn't matter how many people come into this area. If there's not enough funding, they can't operate. And they're not part of the city. We just help out and give them a helping hand. But it's critical. Next slide, please. We had many ordinances and resolutions that were passed and approved. Council approved 15 new ordinances and 13 resolutions in 2024, which ensure the growth of the city, which is done properly. We have an understanding of what ordinances and resolutions are. Resolutions are less formal. They're usually temporary, but they're accomplished through a motion without the formal ordinance procedures. Ordinances, however, are very formal. Their methods of procedure must be followed in order for an ordinance to be effective. They require a first and second reading, time period between readings, a recorded vote on the ordinance, publication in some and most cases, and then a certain form or introductory clause is required. So you can see this is the list of ordinances and this is the list of resolutions in order for us to be productive in our city. Next, please. We have several contracts and agreements that were accomplished in 2024. Collin County Elections contract, which we apply with them every year so that they provide election services. The AMR contract for ambulance services, which is done through the city of Princeton now. Interlocal agreement for the 2018 open space bond for Mallory Park. Public management for grant application for Mallory Park. Lease agreement with 360 Broadband. Cyber ILA with the Texas Municipal League. SC tracking solutions for backflow devices. And text-warn mutual aid for water and wastewater for disasters in the event that we have a disaster. And text-warn has already contacted us, getting ready and on standby if we have a bad disaster because of the ice storm and the weather that's coming. So we're constantly in contact with other resources as well beyond what we can provide. Next, please. As you can see, this is our ETJ. We have the largest ETJ in Collin County. It's massive. And all we get to do in this area outside of the city, this is the city right here. But everything else out in these areas, all we get to do is plat, unless they annex into the city. Yes, sir. So the question was asked, how far is it, because you see the highway, and how far is it on either side? It's a half mile. And it's a half mile because we're a type A general law city. We are not by any means at 5,000 population. We are not a hometown, a home rule, thank you, I was hunting for it. So we're not a home rule city. We are still governed by the state legislature. So a lot of the things that happen at this council meeting, it has to go to Austin because we do not have full authority. So, excuse me?
What's our plan? Auto 78, 981, 545, 1377, and
all the significant highways. And one of the questions asked earlier, what is the plans of infrastructure? Well, as you can see, we're surrounded by TxDOT. So the lot of, now not, that's not the inner core. So your questions about how we're gonna grow, what we're gonna do, we're governed by TxDOT. We don't get to say over what those highways get to do and look like. We don't get a say over whether they widen them and accommodate, but I will tell you, TxDOT is reactive, not proactive. They're not gonna build us a road and be ready for when all this traffic comes. They're gonna do it after the traffic gets there, and then it's gonna be a pain for everybody during that process. So there you go, because 380 is, we avoid it at all costs. And they widen it, it's still not big enough. Still not big enough. So that is to answer to one of your questions about the road. What are we gonna do? We can't do anything about TxDOT. That's outside of us. All we can do is what is inside of the city streets. But this is a list of all of the subdivisions that we did just in 2024. And you can see by my notations, ETJ, ETJ, ETJ. That's the extraterritorial jurisdiction that we just spoke of. So that's all these areas that people had bought land, they're expanding, they're putting family members in. So rule of thumb, one house, one tract of land. If you want more than that, you have to annex in the city, because now it's about sewer. Because if you try to subdivide more than that, you have to provide sewer and make sure that either they have a septic system that can handle it, or you have to come inside city. And there's no way that somebody down here can come in city, because there's no way they're going to travel 10 miles and hook up to our sewer system. No way. Because nobody's got that kind of money to spend, except Mr. Trump, and he's not coming in. Next slide, please. Citizen involvement. This is where our town really shines. The city of Blue Ridge has been very, very fortunate to have some amazing involved citizens that volunteer their time and efforts to make sure that residents of Blue Ridge are cared for. We'd like to say thank you to the following people and organizations: Tammy Barber and the Blue Ridge Food Rescue Group, Little Blessings Food Pantry, Four Corners Food Pantry, Tammy Barber with the Angel Tree Toy Drive, Dave Sturgeon with the Blue Ridge Angel Tree, Tammy Barber with the Aluminum Can Drive, and everyone who helped and donated to the blanket and sock drive for the retirement homes. Guys, this is what we do, and this is what is a pleasure in our lives, is to get to see so many folks get to be a part of these volunteerisms and how it makes such a difference for people. Next, please. So this is a thank you. The city of Blue Ridge, home of the last Texas Prairie, would like to thank all the residents for everything that you contribute to make this a great place to live. The mayor, council, city staff, they all take great pride in serving our citizens and county neighbors alike. We strive to keep the small town feel even amidst all the growth. We're here at City Hall, invite all Blue Ridge residents, both old and new, county or city, to come to a meeting, give us a call with questions or concerns, drop by. When you need an answer, we're here to help. If we don't have the answer, we'll try our best to get it for you. I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much to the council for all their support. I thank you, the city staff, because it could not be done without them. I thank everyone that has helped in any way, small or great, to make this town what we all enjoy and love. Miss Camille said she's been here for 81 and a half years. God bless you.
My family, generation-wise, we're over 200.
The Sims family is the same. We have had family in this area for over 200 years as well. And some of the property that you see where Jared Webb lives, that was Ruby's great-great-grandfather's. All of that land over there. We have seen so many changes just in our life alone. And Ricky grew up here, Tammy grew up here, Colby, Rhonda. We've had so many, and then the others that are here now have been here for a long time. So we really appreciate, and this comes deep from the heart, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate what we do, and we appreciate you giving us the opportunity to do it. This is the state of 2024. This is the state of our city. We're changing. We're growing. We're going to be a different place in a few more years. We're doing our best, though, to keep it to where it's path in the right direction. We're doing our best. A lot of it, if you heard me say, we're development driven. We're looking at developers to help us because a lot of that, we don't have the funds. Y'all don't want to pay the dollars. And we're okay with that. That's why we work in other ways to see what we can do. So again, we thank you. We thank you very much for all that you do in every aspect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's it.
Yes.
Make a motion.
As well as discussion, please, future agenda. Colby, you have anything?
I have nothing. We have a discussion.
Keith?
Good.
David?
Good.
Dean? So, item number 13, which is adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? And that would be at 8:40.
Thank you.
One moment.
Can I shut it down?
Yes, yeah.